keywords were.
I fulfill those keywords all by myself. Thank you very much.
We got this right here. They're good.
We're good. It's fine. Now you want to advertise chicken sales troopers? Then yeah, I mean,
Oh,
yeah, help me out. So, welcome to the Northern Knits Podcast. We are two friends in fiber who knit, crochet, craft, and talk all the nerdy things in between. It's episode 213, in which Jocelyn and Diana realize we're only 8 people away from 500 subscribers, and both of us went, what?
So if you're watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed, subscribe so we can have like a party or something. I don't know.
Sure. I have no idea how this works.
I don't really know what to do. What do you do?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I think we get cake. I think that's another reason for cake.
I feel like cake, fancy donuts, cupcakes, some sort of live party on YouTube, like some sort of celebratory thing will occur. I just don't know what sort of celebratory thing will occur. Technically, we're a knitting podcast, though heavens knows that's ephemeral at best. My name is Jocelyn. My co-host is
Diana.
And if this is the first time you're watching us, it's like this all the time. Diana, do you want to let everybody know what we're going to cover this week?
Sure. Among the many topics we will cover will be What's in Our Cup, Cool Threads, Woolly Workings, So Little Time, Wool Gathering, and Kniterature.
Well, what's in my cup isn't going to last very long because it's tasty. Oh my goodness. I currently call Winnipeg, Manitoba home. Diana currently calls Waterloo, Ontario home. So notwithstanding in the after times, we're still going to be via distance because it's a bit more of a commute than either one of us are willing to take on every week.
It's a solid 3-day drive.
It's a good airplane flight.
Yeah, that too.
So I don't think so. For What's in Our Cup and my super fancy new to me Nightmare Before Christmas mug in the appropriate Jocelyn size, which means almost the size of my head. I have some Carnation Simply Hot Chocolate. Hang on. Okay, so my dad buys rum. Didn't take me long to segue, did it? And one of the rums he really likes comes with this like little fancy plastic spoon.
That looks like a toddler spoon.
It is a toddler spoon. And it is absolutely perfect for scooping hot chocolate and eating yogurt and granola.
So a toddler spoon.
It's a toddler spoon. And I happily eat from it all the time. Anyway, what I was talking about was the Simply Hot Chocolate from Carnation, Nesty Carnations. And I realized I forgot to turn a light source on, so I'm going to correct that problem here momentarily. And then the lighting will change. That'll look professional. So this hot chocolate is one of the few store brand shelf hot chocolates that do not have corn. So help me keep them in business so I can have pre-made hot chocolate. Sales pitch. We're not sponsored by any of the stuff I talk about that's corn-free. There's just so little corn-free stuff. I get really excited about it. So we're going to do a cut and my lighting is going to change. That's what we're going to do. So here we go. Listen, if I don't feed them, they deflate. They attack my face. So I gotta feed the girls at all times. It's stressful. I don't even have the mental capacity to knit the heel of a sock right now. I'll also be eating chocolates. I'm drinking hot chocolate. I'm eating chocolate. That is the kind of week I've had. My silverware chest is still behind me instead of put it back where it belongs. It's one of those weeks. What's in your cup, Diana? You've got a pretty cup too.
I do have a pretty cup. I'm just moving my progress keeper 1 second. I'm drinking some lemon ginger tea that is from a tin of tea that... So I have our two friends in Waterloo who have now moved away, so I don't know anybody in this city anymore. That's great. It's a great thing. But they were packing up and moving, and they're like, we have this tea we're never going to drink. Do you want these like tins of tea? So I inherited some tins of tea. So it's some kind of lemon ginger tea of dubious age from a tin. It's fine.
I found the coffee one.
Ooh.
Oh my god. I should not have left this box right beside me.
But I decided to use a different cup this time. So last week was the mushroom cup. This week is the sunflowers. I don't know. It's the flowers and leaves cup. So I'm feeling very classy with my pot of herbal tea in my
Very British
vintage,
teacup.
vintage British teacup, and whatever grandmother owned this teacup is probably spinning in her grave because I've put herbal tea in her British teacup, and you know what? I don't care.
They had a toffee thing on the top of that. Yes, there's one of those little guide thingies. I can't read them.
It's much more fun to just eat them and find out what they are anyway.
At some point, I'm going to run across a cherry one and go, whoa, cherry. I'm not a big fan of cherry and chocolate, but that's okay.
No, me neither. I don't understand that whole Black Forest thing. Obviously, people must like it.
I don't like it. I don't like. I'm not a fan, and that's a weird thing
Neither.
to hear out of my face when it comes to cake. There's very few cake I will say no to. I say no to Black Forest cake. I don't like it.
It's just I don't. Yeah.
And I'll
Maybe
eat
if
all
it was
types
like
of cake.
real cherry and not like. Maybe I haven't had good Black Forest. Like it's always some kind of fake cherry flavor, and it's never right.
I don't like the cherry chocolate combo. I've never been a fan. So
I wonder if because the children's cold medicine always tastes like cherry and it's awful.
maybe.
Seems like a good trade.
It's a fair trade in my mind. All right, what are we talking about? We talked about what we were drinking.
Cool threads. You're wearing a sweater.
I am wearing my Habanero sweater, mostly because the cardigan I put on to wear for this podcast I discovered was white. And there's a lot of white going on behind me, so I figured that wasn't going to work. I just started to become my background. I went, nope, go change that color. So I'm wearing my Habanero that I crocheted, knit. I'm getting to the point where I feel like I really do need to make a second one of these at the bulky weight and like a cotton or something. Or like a linen silk blend.
Oh.
I fed you. What could you possibly desire?
Your undying love and adoration.
Okay. I talked about what I'm wearing. Let's talk about what we're working on.
Yeah, I have 3 in a tiny repair.
1, 2. How many did I say? 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, if you're counting the housewarming gift as 2 separate things.
Yeah, because I got my socks, my sweater, my other sweater, and the housewarming gift. 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have a paper degree that says I'm really smart. Let's talk about the things I finished. This is going great, guys. So 2/3 of the way through moving my sister out to her very first house, it occurred to me, I didn't make her a housewarming present. Oops. Out came the trusty 5.5mm crochet hand hook with the squishy holdy section, stick end. I'm sure there's a term for it. I'm sure
Handle?
I know what it is. Maybe.
The grip?
I grabbed the grippy part. She did initially asked for dishcloths and pot holders. Sure. So I dived into my not insubstantial collection of cotton scrap. Boy, do I have cotton scraps. Just 100% cotton. And I pulled out some leftover Karen cotton cake, and I made her 3 dishcloths. In varying sizes, because she likes the slightly larger ones for regular scrubby, but she likes to have a little one to get in corners.
Okay.
Without bunching up too much. And she doesn't use stainless steel or anything like that because she doesn't like abrading her surfaces.
Yeah.
So she prefers the cotton handmade dish scrubbies because you get the little ridge. So you get a little bit of scrubby without anything that actually damages the pots.
Yeah.
Or plates or anything, which that's her preference. And 2 extra large pot holders. Done and woven in. So technically that's 5 FOs.
Dang.
Because crochet. Also, this is like my go-to housewarming present, isn't it? Like dishcloths and some pot holders. These are big. Like they cover my whole hand. And they're
This is a solid present though. Like everybody always needs dishcloths and pot holders.
Always.
Somehow you never have enough.
You never have enough. I made the double thick ones for my mom because she and I both tend to put like our microwave stuff on top of it, or hot pots and stuff, but we can't see where it ends and where our fingers are. So I would occasionally burn my fingers, and she would occasionally burn her fingers. I don't do that anymore with the extra large pot holders. They're bigger than my hand and really thick. So you can have that really hot mug of soup, cup of soup out of the microwave, and sit and eat it and hold it in your hand, and you don't burn your hand. Which I always kind of like having as an option because I don't like burning my hand. So those are done. My sister still has some stuff here, but me and my dad figure that I'll put these in the mail for her so then she can get non-bill mail.
Ah, that'll be nice.
In her new house. Also, it'll be like $8 to ship it in the city. So really, so far I haven't paid anything for the project. I'm sure I can shell out less than $10 to mail my sister something. I feel like that's fine. So I did that in a rush, realized that Thursday just before Critical Role started, and went, oh, I guess I know what I'm doing while Critical Role's playing tonight. Making pot holders, which I did. Do I have to keep going? No, you've got 3 items. You can go. Ha.
I can go. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with the really boring one. Oops, let's not drop the stitches while I talk about a different thing. So last week I mentioned that I had a sweater sitting in the repair basket. It is this sweater. I repaired it. I did a really terrible job and I have to do it again already. But like I repaired it and it's already coming apart. I did not repair it well. Like I knew I wasn't doing an amazing job, but I thought it was better than that. Oops. So I have to fix it again. But I did it. I did it badly.
I don't know, man. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I know. Well, it had sort of unraveled a bit, so I had to like ladder the stitches back up, and then I'm unsure of how this bind off works. It seems like they just folded the stitches over and then sewed them down, because it's machine made, of course, because it's a store-bought sweater.
Probably.
So I basically just laddered all the stitches back up, wove the thread through it, and then like whip stitched it down. It wasn't beautiful, but I thought it would stay. Clearly did not, so I'm going to do it again. Do it better.
Again, I feel like I believe the statement is work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You may have gone at that backwards.
Yeah. So, So there's that. So I did it.
Oh my God, I totally lied. I have another thing and it's an FO.
How'd you forget a whole FO?
What do you mean, how did I forget a whole FO? Did you not hear me when I said I can't even tackle a sock heel right now?
Yeah, okay. Well, go get your thing.
Oh my God. I am so thankful my head is attached to me, otherwise I would misplace the thing. I'll be right back, guys. So, now that I went and fetched the thing, I finished like Monday. Just why I forgot about it. Derp. Hey, guess what? Erin said the next time that she's able to come over, she will pick up my stitches for me.
Ooh.
So, are you ready for a completed, not completed object?
I'm ready.
Someone finished her sleeves.
Wah!
2 sleeves. All done. Look at that pretty ass ribbon.
I love this so much. I need to make one.
It's nice. It looks great. It fits me wonderfully. No, I have not blocked it. The ends were woven in as I went. Well, from like shoulders down, sleeves down. So I just have the ones up and the color work yoke to do. So this is, one more time for posterity purposes, the Half Moon Tee by Dragonhoard Designs. It was my podcast anniversary knit, which I did not finish on time, which is not normal for me. I usually do our cows on time. Knit out of some beautiful skeins of Cottage Girl from Zen Yarn Gardens, which make up the body of the sweater in this beautiful muted micro striped pooling watercolor crayon wax melty effect.
That was a lot of words.
I don't entirely know what to use. I think the crayon melty effect is probably the one I want to go with.
Sure.
It looks like, could you
hey,
listen?
Cat.
Listen, I'm corded. Hello. I know you're stressed. I know you're stressed. I understand your pain. I don't. You're stressing your mother out. So I got it all finished, but what has happened is I have more leftover yarn than I thought I was going to have, and my bottom hem looks garbagey. It's not good, guys. You don't listen. There's no space for you here. Do you understand?
No,
No.
no, she does not. There is always space.
So, in a super classy Ziploc bag, for I only believe in the highest of storage containment equipment for my yarn, this is all the yarn I have left. I have over 40 grams of yarn left.
Oh, that's not insignificant.
That's a lot of finger. Go down. That's not. And I stuck the needles that I was using in this project in the bag. And the lovely, lovely Erin said she would pick up the body stitches for me just before the ribbing so I can rip back the ribbing, weigh how much the ribbing is gram-wise, and then knit the body longer. So we will definitely be into tunic length territory.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Otherwise,
awesome.
it's beautiful. It is drapey. It is airy. Jocelyn's doing more fingering weight sweaters. I don't care about the time commitment for them. They need to exist in my life. They need to exist in my wardrobe. They're going to look amazing. So I'm super, super happy. And technically, for the moment, until I am able to see people again, it's done. Because that's the way the cookie crumbles. Because that's how that works. So do that. Maybe I'll just lay it on the floor so Cat can lay on it. There you go. You can lie on the knit thing. I know how you like to lie on knit things. There you go. She's right onto it. We look and we watch and we've settled down. She's good.
Okay.
This is what happens, people. This is what happens. I've been talking with my dad since he's here about building me a square and securing my foam thingies, my drying foam.
Oh, yeah.
To a board that I could then hang on a wall, so or have A-framed out, so she can't lie on my drying knits. So it collapses into something it'll be tall because it'll be all the squares put together, but it'll be tall that I could stand up against a wall. So that way she can't. But it means I could put my knits out to dry in the summertime. I could like put them out on the balcony if I have a balcony, or I can leave them. I can leave them in the tub overnight.
That's a good plan.
And if they're on an angle, it won't be pulling on the yarn too much. So I've been talking with him about that. We've been discussing the science of yarn. I'm not sure it's a topic I ever thought I'd ever cover with my dad. But the kitchen first. Funny little daddy make work projects after kitchen.
Yes.
Yes. So
main project first.
Main project first, and that's kitchen and painting the upstairs. All right, there you go. There's the bonus project that I completely forgot about because I finished on Monday. Could you not need the sweater? No? Okay, cool. We have to make the sweater softer. Don't need to make that yarn softer. It's quite soft. No, she doesn't believe me. Zen Yarn Garden, you make a good yarn. The cat approves. All right. Should I be going again? I have... Not lying this time. I have 3 more things. Should I go again?
I guess I also have 3 more things. I could jump in with a thing.
Sure.
Okay. Pick it up. Well, the thing that I'm working on while we record is, of course, I'm on his side. I'm working on the 8-bit sweater.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And I want to talk about this one first so I can flip the sleeves inside out so they're not flopping around everywhere. Okay.
It's a lot of sweater at this point.
So much sweater. It's so much sweater.
It's a lot of sweater.
Yeah, I meant to pick this one up like days ago or at least earlier today, and it just didn't happen. I did a lot of work on something else that I'll talk about shortly. But because I did so much work on the other thing, my wrist was starting to hurt, and so by the time we got to the weekend where I was going to work on this, I had to take a break. So I'm working on it now while we're recording. So I've made I have made approximately a row and a half of progress since we started.
I keep forgetting how much smaller than me you are. Till we start talking about row progress versus time, because technically I think I knit faster. I am not tiny. Okay, cool. Ooh.
And then my one fun row of color dominance shift. Oh well.
Yep.
It's fine. I
I
had to
still feel
remake.
like the one row in such a loud sweater.
It's not going to make a lot of difference, especially once it's been washed and blocked. And it's like, it's fine. Like retro video games on the old cathode ray tube TVs, they had like weird glitchy lines, so it's fine.
It works just fine. Just
Yeah.
it's a nostalgic art piece.
So this is the 8-bit sweater by Lattes and Llamas. It is, I believe, a free pattern.
The mystery
right?
knit along was free.
Yeah.
I don't know if the final pattern remained free or not. I can't remember.
I'm reasonably certain this is a free pattern, so if you would like to knit a trillion nerdy things on a very loud, busy, amazing sweater, Lattes and Llamas is the designer you should look at.
Well, you should also just go look at their stuff, because my word, do they have interesting designs.
Oh yeah, like they've done, I think usually their knit-alongs for the year are blankets, and so they've got a million different nerdy squares to knit, and it's so good. They're so good. It's just, it is a joy to scroll through the designer
I'm
pattern
shocked
page.
you haven't made the dancing robot socks.
Robot socks.
They have dancing robot colorwork socks.
Oh my god. Okay. Those just went on my list.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're also the designers from the cranberry sauce sock pattern that I tried, that I had problems with, not the pattern, just me.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm going to be making them. So that's the thing that happened. So good.
I guess I should say the yarn is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in a light color and a dark color. I don't actually remember.
Cream
it was like
and gray.
oyster. It was like navy and oyster heather or something. Hang on. The dark color is, where's the, yeah, I know that's the dye lot. What color are you?
It's usually right under the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes label. Section of the label, like right underneath it's written.
Oh, yep, you're right. Midnight Heather is the dark, the navy blue, and the light is oyster heather.
So cream and navy blue versus my cream and dark gray.
Yeah.
So near as much makes no difference in the end.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a thing. I'm excited that you're making progress.
I'm going to finish it. Like, I swear, the day I finish it, we're going to hit like 30 degrees here.
I know. That's exactly how that works.
We've got like highs of like 10 to 15 for the next like 14-day forecast, but you know that no matter what day I finish this,
it'll be 30 degrees.
It'll be 30 degrees.
Yeah, we're bouncing.
I'll suffer through it.
We're bouncing all over the place with weather still. Guys, it's end of April, early May. Only crazy people think you plant in Manitoba before May long.
Oh gosh, no.
So it's fine. We're still in that super early spring stage.
Okay, I am turning this sleeve inside out so it's not flopping around. I'm going to turn this other sleeve inside out so it's not flopping around, so I've got more of a cohesive unit here. Jeez.
That is going to make your life a lot easier. Yeah. A lot easier. While we're recording, I am working on my Simple Hug. It is a pattern by Cozy Up Knits. It is the project that I said I wanted to have done for my check-in with Louise next week.
Is that next week already?
Well, it's not, because if you think about it, this episode comes out on Wednesday. So it'll actually be a week from tomorrow for our future selves. But our current selves, I still have it's Sunday night. So I still have days before I get to my last 7 days.
Right.
But according to the public facing part, which is when this goes live, I have a week and a day. Because time.
Right.
Is fun.
Time,
I guess,
is a thing that happens.
It's a thing that happens. This is my second Simple Hug. I'm going to make this one in stockinette, not garter. And I am making this one using Halloween scraps held double. So it is a stripy, marled Halloween baggy cardigan. And I'm doing full length sleeves. Because I can. Because why not? Right?
Well, yeah, it's your sweater. You can do what you want.
I do what I want. This is the second last section. I have this section stripe to do, and then I have a gray stripe section to do, and then I'm splitting for my front sides, my front panels and my back panel. And that's generally when this project picks up speed for me, because it just flows a lot faster for me.
Mm-hmm.
Why, I don't know, but that's how the last one works, so I'm assuming that's how this one works. Because it's a drop shoulder, like the sleeve doesn't start till halfway down to like your elbow.
Mm-hmm.
So I only have, what, 2/3 of a sleeve to do, which isn't too bad for me. It'll still be like full length sleeve for some people, but that's okay. My mom wouldn't wear this anyway. It's made out of wool. So it's fine. I want to finish these last few stitches, and then I can hold it up and it's not in the middle of a row.
It's almost like we don't plan things at all whatsoever. It just kind of
doesn't. There's
improv.
no planning. I did not make as much progress this week as I made last week. I can't knit 8 to 10 inches every week. But my stitch marker is down here. So, I mean, I still made a significant amount of progress.
Yeah, that's not nothing.
I still made for maybe 5 or 6 inches of progress. So
yeah,
we're
definitely.
definitely getting.
That's looking so good.
I know, we're definitely getting there. I am super happy with how these stripes are coming out. It's going to look great with capris and flip-flops in the late summer.
I'm really excited to see it without the fragmentation of video compression.
I am super excited to take some nice finished Instagram photos for you so you can see it without the fragmentation of video compression.
Because it's the sweater specifically, like the rest of you is like fine, but the sweater is just like really pixely.
Oh yeah, the video compression's got a problem with this much striped, this much marled, this much yarn. To keep track of how many rows I've done on each stripe section, I've clipped a clover stitch marker, and I'll just keep clipping them till I get the right number of stitch markers attached, and that tells me I've done enough rows.
Smart.
Because I put this down and I pick it up. It's a massive project, and I'm doing both my fronts and my back are all one piece right now, so they're long rows. They're good rows, like you get right into a rhythm, but they're long. You know, they take time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I'm not working on the project, it lives in a Halloween bag. Shocking. It lives in my Jack bag. There's still a lot of yarn in here.
I love that you can make an entire sweater out of Halloween scraps.
Scraps. And you know what that gives me the ability to do this year? Buy more Halloween yarn, because I'll have eaten through most of my scraps.
Even better.
Even better. So that's what I'm working on while we record, and in the evenings and stuff when I'm watching the news and that, just to have something mindless to work on, I guess. I don't like saying mindless, but it's true. It's just there's not a ton of thinking. Meditative works. Calming, relaxing.
Yeah. Autopilot.
All right. Which brings me down to 2 things left to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's my turn to talk about a thing. I've been talking about things in roughly order of interest. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
I randomized it.
Okay. So I have my desk sock, which lives on my desk here, and I work on it while code's compiling, while I'm in meetings, and that kind of thing. Because if my hands are busy, I'm not scrolling through the social channels on Slack.
Yeah, it's that social media stuff. It can get to you after a while.
It's not even social media. It's like we have this whole social chunk of channels on Slack at work. When you got thousands of people at a company, there's lots of little niche channels. Like there's at least 3 different crafting channels, and there's a critical role channel and a gaming channel, and then there's just people talking about interesting stuff all the time, and sometimes your meetings are not that interesting.
Nope. Meetings can be boring.
Anyway, so I work on a sock sometimes. I believe last week I had not quite finished the toe of the sock. believe I was
Yes.
finishing the toe as we were recording.
Yeah.
So I've made it 2 and a bit inches up the foot.
Oh, nice.
I'm, I think, slightly over halfway through the chart the first time. Let's hold that closer. This chart really benefits from having a foot inside the sock and being stretched out slightly. You can really
It does, but
see it better.
it's okay. We had the awkward foot pose last week.
No, that was 2 weeks ago, because
That
last
was
week I
2
got
weeks ago.
smart. I got smart and got the
Got the blocker.
yeah, to show the finished sock, which is gonna live right here with the other sock until such a time as it has a mate.
That's fair.
Also, until such a time as I weave in the ends.
Love that sock yarn.
Yeah, so this is the Jack sock
Whiskey
pattern
Jack.
by. So the pattern is Jack from
right.
Sunflower Knit,
Okay.
and the yarn is Whiskey Jack from Fireweed
Fiber Co.
It's like I got through the fire and I'm like, oh no, what's the second word? Just fell right out of my head.
It's because my brain goes firewood, no, fireweed, yes.
Fire blank fiber goes was where my brain was at. Like, crap. What's the second part?
We love that dyer. We should know her company name at this point.
You know what? It's a Sunday night.
It is a Sunday night.
Anyway, so this is the February colorway from her sock club, and it's gorgeous, and I would not have thought to pair it with this green, but it is also gorgeous, and yeah.
Really good.
Everything's
pairing.
gorgeous.
Yep.
This is so blue and speckly and gray, and it's just, I love it.
Well, she's been so busy this month, she hasn't been able to drop off my April yarn yet. And I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. It's fine. I'll be just as excited if it shows up in May as I will be in April.
The April yarn is so good. I opened mine because it's April.
It is April. And
it's almost the end of April. So like I opened my April yarn.
That's fine.
It's so pretty.
It looks pretty from all the photos I've seen. I don't mind waiting. It is what it is, and I'm not going to die. It's not like I don't have enough stuff on the go.
We need all the yarn right now, this very second.
That's not going to help me any. I already have cast-on-itis issues. All right. Because Diana says it counts. I crocheted 1.5 rows on the cardigan I'm designing.
Hey, if my 1.5 rows on the thing that I picked up to record with counts.
Yep. I've been writing out the pattern notes for it. So I got a little deep into explanation and some video tutorial filming because I'm voicing over the tutorial part. So I did the filming part because I know I was taking out all the noise and stuff. So it is officially finished. I have a full back piece.
I love that stripes. They're still so great.
All the way down to the bottom because it's a long cardigan.
Wow, that is very long. My gosh.
It's a below the butt cardigan. It's a long cardigan. It's meant for campfire weekends, or in my case, weekends shopping at the farmer's market in the fall when it's like crisp in the morning and you want that little bit of something. That's what this is meant for. So that is done. A bunch of pattern notes have been written up. So in theory, I can get the front panels done this week, which I know I said last week. I just didn't happen. My brain went out to lunch and it's not come back yet. So if my brain comes back from vacation or lunch break or whatever break it's on, I'll be good to go. If it doesn't, it's gonna be a slog. That's it. There's not much to say about it. It's Briggs and Little yarn. It's heritage weight yarn, and it is in their country rose and dark gray colorway striped.
Guess I should talk about my thing that I did so much work on this week.
Absolutely, because you did an insane amount of work.
Yeah,
you did like Jocelyn level production here.
So I believe it was while we were recording last week, you mentioned one of your friends was learning to crochet with this particular cardigan.
It was her first crochet garment. She crochets blankets and other things, but it was her very first crochet garment, and she had a choice of two sweater things, and she went with one without sleeves because sleeves can be tricky. And the pattern I showed you was the other one because I want to make it.
So she shows me this pattern, and I go, oh yes. Oh, I have yarn for this. Oh yes, it's happening now. So 10:30 at night, last Sunday, I started crocheting a cardigan. And then I got really, really into it because it's done in squares that you seam together, and doing a single square is really addictive. You feel very accomplished.
Now you
I
know
feel so
how I
accomplished.
feel.
I've been weaving in my ends as I go.
Yeah. Yeah, now
That's
you
how
know
accomplished I feel.
I feel about doing blankets and blanket squares, right? Because just like, it's a blanket square and it's done. Oh, beautiful.
It's amazing.
So good.
So I believe the full cardigan takes 54 squares.
Yeah.
And I have now done 4 of each kind of square, I think. Wait. Let me do some math here. I've got 1, 2.
No, you can't have both the cardigan
4.
and the sweater. You can lie on one, not the other.
5.
She's staring at me.
I've done 5 of each. That's 20. So yes. I've got 20 squares out of the necessary 54. So I'm almost halfway.
In a week.
Not even a whole week, because I was so into this for 4 days that I had to take a break on Friday and Saturday because my wrist was starting to hurt.
Yeah. Crochet.
So I did a lot of crochet this week.
Big stack of squares. Oh yeah.
So this is the what is the full name of this thing? Hang on, I have it open. It's a free crochet pattern. It's available on the blog Crochet with Carrie. It's the Crochet Patchwork Winter Cardigan. It is inspired by the Harry Styles cardigan from a while back that, honestly, I don't understand why everybody was so in love with it. It's just like a big patchwork knitted cardigan. And honestly, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's ugly, but it's like, it is loud and like not what I would call high fashion, but apparently everybody loved it.
It's too chaotic for me.
Like, I was looking at pictures of this thing trying to understand what people were seeing in it. I'm like zooming in, I'm like, this isn't even well made. Like, the finishing on it wasn't even amazingly good.
It's not I wasn't a super fan of that pattern when it came out.
I don't know.
I didn't like
anyway, so this is inspired by that.
Do like that one.
It's an assortment of textures of square that you then put together into the cardigan in whatever fashion you so desire. It is intended to be done with a single color of yarn. I'm doing it with 2 Caron cakes that are roughly the same colors. One of them has a green to it that the other one doesn't, but so it's going to be a couple shades of blue and gray and green. So fine. We've got, hang on. So we've got the half double crochet squares.
Yep.
They're pretty boring. Then we've got the griddle squares, which are
I like those ones.
Single crochet and double crochet to make this fun texture. Then we have the how do I only have 4 of these? Lol. Okay. Oh, it's because I'm working on one right now. I'm working on the 5th one. We have the Bobble stitch squares, which are so annoying to make. I don't like making baubles, but the texture is really, really fun. So the pattern calls for 21 of these, 13 of these.
Okay.
Thankfully, only 7 of the baubles.
Oh, good.
And then another 13 of this really fun basket weave, which I've been quite enjoying.
I made a pillow out of the basket weave.
Yeah,
it's really nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's really chill. I like it. So yeah, 3, 4. Okay. Wait. Okay, I've got. Is my math that wrong? Okay, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, sorry, I don't have 20 yet. I have 18 and a half squares.
That's fine.
And halfway would be 22. So I'm almost halfway.
Yeah.
Which, like, for 4 days and an evening, is not bad.
You're doing great. I think you're doing amazingly well.
So, yeah, I think I still need to give that another day or 2 of break because my crochet muscles hurt.
They are different muscles from knitting muscles.
Yeah, so I need to, and it's different motions and different tensions of how you hold things, so. Got to give that
Absolutely.
at least one more day of rest. So knitting today. But yeah, and then I'm really excited to lay that all out on the floor and like get the patterns all nicely distributed and sew it together and just have this like super, it's going to be a super gaudy cardigan. Like it's blue and gray and green. Like it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I don't care because I'm really excited to wear it with just like dark plain everything else and then this very sort of obnoxious sweater.
All I can picture in my brain is you this fall in that obnoxious sweater in your black blue jeans or blue jeans and like a plain t-shirt or even a gamer shirt out in your garden like the little old lady that you are.
Yes.
Harvesting your vegetables.
100% yes. Like literally that's
Yep. I see that in my brain.
pretty sure I threw on the Comfort Fade cardi to go pick some lovage in my garden the other day.
Yep. Whereas I know you can picture me at fall and winter markets, or especially the fall farmers markets, in my knee-high or my capris and my flip-flops and this Halloween colored simple hug.
Absolutely.
Buying vegetables with a big old shawl wrapped around me. Because I can.
Squares.
I'm so excited. I enabled so well this week.
You enabled very, very well this week.
Best enabler. That's me.
Oh, I guess if you're so these I have 2 Karen big cakes. This one with the green is pistachio macaron, and the other one is just blue macaron, I think, and it just has the blues and the grays, no green.
Well, that's fine.
I figured I should use the one with the green on it first because it finishes off with doing the cuffs and the collar and stuff. And this green is not the best with my skin tone. So I figured I'd use this up first to do all the squares.
Yeah, because that's a yellowy green.
Yeah, and it's not good. So then I'll end up with the blues and the grays next to my face, which will be good.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better. No, good call. Good call.
It's like, I like this color. It's just, it doesn't help me at all.
No. Not for your face.
Keep it away from the face, and then I can still wear it, and it's good.
Absolutely. Good call, ma'am. I'm glad you kept to that cast-on-itis and casted on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
Oh, so good.
I want to be working on it right now, to be honest, but wrist says no.
Wrist says no. Take a break. You don't want to injure yourself. That'd be bad. Yes, what size hook are you using?
The pattern called for a J, I believe, and bulky weight yarn. So I'm using worsted yarn and still a J because that's what the Karen cakes had on the ball band. So I figure I'll end up with something that's slightly narrower, which is honestly fine because the pattern with bulky yarn is supposed to make a 25-inch back.
Yeah.
And that's really baggy. Like that's
a baggy back.
Like my favorite sweaters fit with I think 4 inches positive use, which would be a 2-inch or 22-inch back. So if it ends up being smaller than 25 inches, that's fine.
I'm gonna put a stitch marker on my simple hug to indicate I'm on row 3 because this is important, guys. I gotta keep track of my stripes.
Row 3.
Not that you could really see the stripes in the marled yarn,
but you know they're there.
I know they're there, so that's gonna happen. And then I can move up my stitch marker in a moment. So in my what has now become the store all the sock yarn bag, because I got those socks that kept failing, and then I got mad and I shoved them in here so I didn't have to look at them for a while. And then I've got my plain Jane sock, and it's convenient to keep it all in there. So here is my whiskey jack. This is half of 100-gram skein. I split the skeins in 2. And I am officially at my foot or at my heel. So I went from the stitch marker up. So I did, again, 6 or 7 inches of sock knitting.
Dang, that's, ooh.
Just roundy, plain meditative knitting. That's all I can handle right now. I can't handle anything else. My brain
nothing wrong with that.
Will not give me any room to spare. So I'm hoping I've got the power in my head to do my heel so I can keep making my sock. I make very fitted socks, so there's only 68 stitches because I like a snuggish sock. And my feet, as you can tell, are very long because they're a lady 1011 US, which is a 40 something UK, 44, 40, I don't remember. I don't
I'm
buy
a
you
9 US, women's 9 US, and I think that makes me a 40 European UK, whatever that size is. I think that makes me a 40.
I'm in the 40s. I just don't remember where in the 40s I am in the UK sizing. I am a US ladies 10 to 11, depending on the shoe. So there we go. Sock progress was made. And as soon as my brain can handle the concept of a heel, I'm going to do a heel. Because that's a thing.
Sometimes heels are just too much.
Sometimes heels are just too much.
I mean, how many times did I knit the heel on that other sock?
Yeah.
Like 4 times?
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, I've got the other balls of yarn for in the Whiskey Jack. I've also got my grayscale, because that was the yarn in the sock I kept having trouble with. So I'm hoping to get these Whiskey Jack socks done shortly, because I'd like to cast on a new sock for new sockness. But yeah, they live in that muted 60s floral bag I won.
That is such a fun bag. I really like that bag. It goes really well with the wallpaper in here, actually. It matches the flowers really well.
You can't have this bag.
No, it's fine. I can see the wallpaper in my background, and then your bag was like right there above me, the way I have the windows arranged, and it was just, I can see them very clearly together.
All right, I have replacement beverage.
Yeah,
we can begin anew. And I picked up dates. I didn't need the dates. I just wanted them, and I was walking past them, and I went, dates. That's how that works. All right, I'm out of knitting projects to talk about. That was the last one.
Same. I believe we're on to sewing. You had a question to propose.
I have a question to propose. Astute viewers will notice the lamp in the background. I was telling Diana about this lamp. I refurbished the lamp. It got here legit from the 70s, and it looked like it. Not my aesthetic. So last fall when I was out with my mom and my dad, I sanded it down, and then I spray painted the base pewter, and then I sanded down the lampshade, and I spray painted that a rich purple, which is far more Jocelyn's color aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally made it to me this April. I forgot it when I left. There's so much stuff going home. We wouldn't have had space in the truck for it anyway. The truck was packed on the drive back. So I wouldn't have had room for it anyway, but that's fine. Okay. So I've been doing some sewing and mending. Who am I? Am I making a YouTube video about it so I can describe how one sews and mends as they're visually impaired? Yes. Yes, I am. Will that come out at some point? Yes. Yes, it will. Will it have to wait till I'm done all my mending? That would be correct.
So quite some time.
In the next couple of weeks, I imagine I'll get it all done and finished. So I have one of my favorite white cardigans. This is an old white cardigan. I've had this cardigan, oh my God, since I've lived in Alberta.
Oh, wow.
So this is older than my niece. So it's over 14 years old. It's still white.
Somehow.
We ask the obvious question. And you guys will have seen me wear it. I usually have the sleeves tucked up. Diana's seen this cardigan 50 million times. It's my white cardigan. And what's the one thing I've never bothered to repair on this cardigan? I'm constantly sticking my phone into the pockets. And one pocket
gave up. Oh, wow. That really gave up.
It really gave up. Now, here's the problem. A lot of the other things I've been mending are dark colors, which means even though I can't see the thread, I can barely see the needle, and I can't see what I'm sewing together. So it's all by touch and a thimble and a lot of poking of my fingers. That's not an option in white, because you're going to see the stitches. So I gotta go a different route. I can't stitch neat enough anymore to be happy with my results. So I either have to put this in the machine and top stitch it, like top stitch the pocket down on the bottom,
Okay.
and hope that I can do that nice enough that it matches up. Probably can't, let's be honest, guys, because I have to be, what, a hand width away from the fabric to see the stitches through my bifocals.
Ooh, okay, this is sounding like a challenge.
So I don't think I'll be able to get close enough on the machine to line it up correctly. And it's a stretch knit.
Mm.
And I'm knitting on the stretch.
Okay, that's more difficult.
There's a challenge in there. So my other option is to say, I'll fudge it and visibly mend it and give it like an embroidery stitch with embroidery thread, which I still can see mostly. And I could do a little vine pattern or a little geometric grid square pattern. And then I could take that color of thread and set the rest of it aside so that when I have to do other repairs to the sweater, I can then use that same color of thread and pattern technique to mend the sweater when it needs mending again.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
So, but do I do like a little floor, because it's my pocket on my front. Do I do like a little flower? Do I do like vines? Do I do a little geometric shape?
Ooh.
Lord knows I'm comfortable with color. So like that's not a problem. I don't think I want to get too intricate. So I don't like want super dainty 19th century embroidery rose patterns. My embroidery is not at that level. It's not at that level. It's good, but it's not that good. And I do have spare hoops, cross stitch hoops that I keep strictly for that purpose. So like I put the fabric in the hoop, tighten the hoop down, and then the fabric's nice and tight where I'm mending, and it's not stretching or going in any particular direction. So like I can prep it and do it. That's not a problem. I know I keep cross stitch hoops for embroidery, which I also don't do often enough to be good at it. But I have an entire Notion size bag worth of embroidery thread because I used to do more embroidery things. So I can't decide if I want like a little flowery thing. Like I've gotten into flowers because I wear flowers in my dresses. So like, would it clash if I had a different color flower? Should I just do maybe some little green ivory work? So it's just a little florally, but not like I've got a colored flower in there. I'm just the green stuff.
Okay.
Like a pretty vine. Or do I just go, nope, let's just keep some nice geometric patterns going? Because then it will go with anything so long as the thread I'm using is like a neutral, like a black or a gray or something, instead of like a green for a vine. You know what I mean? Hence the debate. And here I am using my silverware chest to hold chocolate, socks, and now a cardigan I haven't decided how I want to mend. Moving. So that's been my debate for the last couple of days. Like, what route do I take? So I'm obviously going to sit on it for a few more days because I haven't decided. In fact, I'll sit on it till after this episode goes up. And if you guys have a suggestion or an idea, here's that call to action YouTubers do. Leave me a comment in the description box below so I can read it. And we all know I read them because I'm the one replying. Because we discussed the bots that show up now because we're big enough that we get bots for adult sites where we went right idea, wrong gender of adult site advertising.
So not the right demographic for that.
Not the right demographic for that. Good try, though.
But I find it hilarious that we've hit that threshold now.
It is quite amusing. We've also hit the threshold where we get the occasional person who tells me I'm too large to be on YouTube. I like blocking them too. Personal sense of accomplishment when I go, and you're not required. Goodbye. I don't care. If you don't like, don't watch. It is that simple. We are not for everybody. Yeah. Same way as everybody isn't for everybody else. Super not a problem. I am not offended. I am going to drink some more of my Coke Zero and eat another Medjool date. But yeah, I'd love suggestions. I have been working on the Shishinko mending technique, visible mending technique. I have been practicing on all things my baby blanket. Because I'm not giving my baby blanket away. It's mine. It's mine forever. And in junior high, I decided to sew on the patch that had my name from my school bomber style jacket that I had. And it big ugly whip stitches because I'm still learning. It's like grade 7. Grade 8. I was like 13, 14. And it's got a lot of repairs that need to be done from this blanket I've had since I came home from the hospital. It's pink because I'm a girl. So I'm feeling like I wanted to practice on that because it's obviously become my practice device, right? So I can like tell the story of my mending history in this blanket. So I'm doing that practice, and once that's done, I'm actually going to mend the quilt on my bed in Shishinko, which is a Japanese visible art mending style, which is absolutely stunning geometric patterning. And I'm doing the super basic intro one because, dude, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning. But I love how it looks. Love how it looks. So I'm super excited that that's going. And I'm making a whole separate video on that because that's a whole process. Don't worry, guys. I got you. We're recording and filming this for posterity purposes. It's happening. So that's going on. So I'm hoping to get that done next month too. So I know about Shishinko. I'm using it on something else, but I don't think I want to use it on the pocket. I think I want something a little more like decorative-ish on the pocket.
Nice little pansies or something.
No, something. But I need the right suggestion for my brain to go, yes, that's what I want. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When you know it's something.
I have watched a couple of embroidery repair technique videos on TikTok, and that's about the extent of my expertise here. So don't think I'm gonna be much help.
I used to hand sew moccasins and embroider beadwork on the top of them in a traditional Inuit style up north. So using leather sinew.
Yeah, I watched some pretty embroidery videos.
Now, I'm not anywhere near the level your mother-in-law is at because holy Hannah, that woman can embroider.
The puffer fish.
She made a puffer fish, you guys. It's so
Blinky
good.
the puffer fish.
So good. Anyway, that was my sewing question for so little time. And yes, I'm eating more Bejeweled dates.
I think that brings us to wool gathering then.
Let's gather some wool.
Okay. Starting off with the usual, Patreon is a thing that exists, and if you'd like to financially support this podcast, you can do so at patreon.com/I never remember to look it up. It's in the description box below.
I'm gonna put the dates on a ring. Showing to stop eating them. That needs to go in your final ad copy because I love it.
If you do choose to financially support us through that method, any level of support will get you access to our patrons only Discord, where we are chatting at all hours of the day and night because we cover all of the time zones here through Europe. It's pretty great.
We really do.
You get early access to our bonus content. And what else? Oh, you get our weekly Experimental Tuesday blog post where we cook something experimental.
For us. Experimental for us.
Experimental for us, yes. Yeah.
Put a caveat on that.
What else?
Bonus content.
Bonus content.
And the monthly knit along if you're $5 or more a month.
Yes, every month we do basically a knit club for one Saturday afternoon. The next one of those will be on May the 22nd at noon Manitoba time, which I believe is Central Daylight time.
It is Central Daylight. We're on
Manitoba
Daylight
time.
Savings.
Yeah.
Daylight Savings. So, as always.
Did I forget anything?
No, we're good. As always, we do understand not everybody can choose to support people monetarily, which is okay. Budgets are a real thing. We're not going to lie. Hitting that like button, commenting helps us so much. It helps us so much. It is crazy how much it helps us. So even doing those two little things is immensely helpful.
Yes. Call to action, engage with the content.
It helps, and we appreciate it beyond words because, let's be honest, we both watch a lot of YouTube. We don't always hit the like button.
I pretty rarely hit the like button and comment never.
I am pretty free with the like button. not so often with the comments, but I'm pretty free with the like button. But I will watch your ads all the way through.
I'll watch the short ones. If it's a 2.5-minute ad and it's like a 10-minute video, it's like, come on, I just want to watch the video.
Oh, I use that as an opportunity to make more tea. I like to walk away. Especially if they're advertising anti-aging medication, secret techniques, tips, and tricks. I get a cup of tea or I go to the bathroom because I got time.
I get stocks,
Mm-hmm.
cars, and it's figured out that I'm interested in like watercolor paint. The internet has figured out that I'm interested in watercolor painting now, and all of my ads are slowly turning to art supplies.
I get so many Michaels ads.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder why. And ads for knitting, crochet, food. I got a lot of food ones. That's not a shock. And they're convinced I want the always pan. I don't.
I don't know what that is.
It's the always pan. You use it for everything. You always use it. Sure. But they've also figured out that apparently I don't want to age. I'm a man.
They get that.
I don't know.
Do you not watch enough crafting videos to make that stereotype?
Apparently not. But I have hit dislike thumbs down on enough car ads. I'm not seeing many car ads anymore. Because let's be honest, never buying a car. I can't drive.
You are the wrong demographic for car ads. They are wasting their time.
Wrong market. The wrong market. But weird technology. Oh yeah. The number of Orcam My Eye ads I see are also extensive.
Oh, I definitely don't get that.
At least it works because I am visually impaired. So advertising visual impairment assistive technologies to me does make sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I'm like, yeah, cool. That one can play also. I drool over that piece of tech because I would love to own one of those. Gosh, all right. In other staple news that happens in the wool gathering section, now that we've caused each other to crack up and totally lose it.
I'm just going to be over here drinking tea.
Oh my gosh. We needed an excuse to cast on a really large project. So we made a cowl for it, Cal. It's going to start on the 1st of May. It's called the Spring Cleaning Cowl. It is a 4+ skein project, people. We're talking you need the large tote bag for this thing. It is any project that fits into the categories of really big. Those are Stephen West shawls. Find Your Fade by Andrew Mallory. The knee-length duster sweater you've always wanted to make. We're talking the behemoths, not blankets. Also super count. We've got 3 months. It's starting the 1st of May. We're running to the end of July-ish, like we usually do. 1st of May-ish. If you've got something you've started, that counts. Adult in Nature, use the hashtag NKP Spring Cleaning Cal, which is KAL on Instagram. Tag us on Instagram at Northern Knits Podcast. I did it without putting the in there.
You did. Good job.
I'm so proud of myself right now.
Gold star.
Woohoo! And on the Facebook group, because we have a Facebook group for posterity purpose, for question and answering, because we believe in making things simple. Whatever you wish to use as wordage here, the answer to the question is don't forget to knit. We're going to host it exclusively there this time around because I am taking a step back from Ravelry. I'm still very upset with them and their accessibility issues. So I've put my foot down. No, it's not cool. It's not cool. We'll still have the Ravelry group. We'll still run the occasional knit along that's going to also have a Ravelry thread for it. But we're going to try the Instagram, Facebook one and see how that works and see if it's easier for people to access and use with less issues across the two platforms. So we're going to do that, which
Hopefully.
will be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
A little bit.
I'm just going to put the word men here. Background noise brought to you by men.
Yeah, they're noisy.
Super great at listening when you talk to them. All right. So that's sort of the big news and stuff that we've got. I don't think we have a ton of other stuff, do we?
Related to that, we were going to do the cast on party on Saturday.
We are. We're going to be live.
Yeah.
Because we can. And then you and I will talk to each other the following day and do a podcast.
Because somehow we'll still have 4 hours of stuff to talk about.
We really will. That's the thing, you guys.
I don't know. There are more words in the universe to be said.
We were literally gaming for like 4 hours yesterday. We're still going to be like 3 hours when we're done this. How?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we're gonna be live. We're gonna cast on our projects. We're gonna talk with you guys about your projects. It's late on a Sunday. It's gone. I told you, didn't have much to start with. We're not getting any better. So we're gonna invite all of you guys to join us Saturday afternoon, noon Manitoba time, which is Central Daylight Time right now, mostly because that hits a lot of time zones the best. As always, it's live, so I will have lunch.
As always, yeah.
As always. How long it'll run, I don't know. Maybe an hour. Maybe it'll 2. Run. If we get a lot of questions and we start chatting, like
it runs. Let's be honest, it'll be 2 because we just talk that long.
We really do. So like, don't be shocked if that happens. But yeah, grab a cup of tea, grab some coffee, grab some lunch, dinner, afternoon snacks, 11sies, whatever it happens to be for your time zone, and join us. Mm-hmm. Cast on a big project. See what other people are casting on for inspirational cast-on-itis ideas.
Oh my god, I just realized, because I'm on call this week, I get a day off on Friday. So I'm going to be winding yarn on the live. No, I won't. I have the day off the day before.
You'll be knitting.
I will be knitting. I'll be winding my yarn. I'm going to have all 5 skeins. I'm doing
you chose it.
Shawl. I know.
You chose it.
I know. I mean, the theme is to clean out stuff from your stash. So, why not a Stephen West kit that I bought from Stephen and Penelope when I was there 3 years ago. Makes
As always,
no, it wasn't 3 years ago. 2 years ago. It's 2 years.
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. As always, we count any type of stash as stuff you've bought. So if you buy a pattern Saturday morning and yarn Saturday afternoon, it's stash.
Yep.
It counts. That's how stash works in our brains. If you've imaginarily bought yarn, it's stash.
Well,
if the only thing blocking you is your budgets and a payday, and then it's coming home.
Okay.
It's essentially in your stash. It's essentially in your stash. If you're waiting on shipping because you order from outside your own country, you've already bought it at that point. It's stash. You're just waiting for it to show up. Yeah. Totally fair. All right. Was that it?
When is the next time you're doing your thing with Louise?
Oh, not this coming Thursday, which is tomorrow, but the Thursday after, which will be the 6th of May. It'll be the next monthly check-in, which is done on Louise's channel, which is Wildflower Wool. And we're there live, and we're there usually for an hour, sometimes longer, chatting it up, doing nitty things.
That's at 6:30 Manitoba time?
6:30 Manitoba time, 7:30 your time.
7:30 Eastern, which would be 4:30 Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm getting real good at time zone math.
Louise works, so she gets home and wants to eat before we start doing that. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Work from home, so I can just have dinner early and be ready for 6:30 my time. And it's a Thursday, so I'm always antsy about being free for Critical Role.
Well, yes, that is the most important thing one can do on a Thursday night.
For me, it is anyway.
Well, if you are caught up with Critical Role.
Yeah. So that's a thing. So yeah, I think, yeah, that's next Thursday. There's always other things going on. That's not a shock, guys. This is how my brain works. Always with the stuff. I might be moving that week. So much going on. So much going on. It's crazy. All right. Which I guess leaves us with books.
That does leave us with books.
Woohoo! You got diverted and I finished a novel.
Yeah.
I finished Column of Fire by Ken Follett, which is the 3rd in the Kingsbridge series. Too many series with the word king at the start. I can't keep them straight anymore these days. There are beefy books, 900 plus pages to start. This was the last one, like the second one. The third one told the story of regular old Joes surviving history. So a little more spread out than it was in book 2, which took place earlier in Middle Ages. We are in the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. So the end of Queen Mary's reign, or Bloody Mary's reign, and through Elizabeth's second reign. And we tell the story from the point of view of Ned Willard, who is a descendant from the previous protagonists in book 2. And it tells you the story of how Kingsbridge has come along in the ensuing 200 years. So you get introduced to the descendants from book 2. You hear the same names again because family names reoccur. They're reused. So you get all that happening. You get all the politics. You get the childhood, rivalries that develop into adult rivalries. And it's just people being people, growing up, falling in love, finding a job, getting married, having children, and the complexities of that, of living. It's just straight up living. In this case, it happens to be during the Protestant to Catholic Reformation years of the Tudor dynasty. So, you have Catholic France and Protestant England, and you've got the Calvinites. This is areas of history I study, so this is very fascinating to me. So you have mobile characters. You've got one who takes to the sea for most of his life and becomes a ship captain. So like he goes to the Americas, he goes to New Spain, and he does travel, and the other ones
Where's
are
New Spain?
South America.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
So it's like how I do those
I've
things.
just never heard it referred to that way.
Whereas I have to think of it as New Spain, and then my brain goes, no, wait. South, because they landed in South America.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just never heard it called New Spain.
I use all sorts of weird names for places, people. So, you have that talk, and it just, in this one, they started to have the character narrating from an end story point of view. So you would get these little clips of Ned foreshadowing things.
Interesting.
And it was super, I loved it. And he closed the book out beautifully. Just, he had Ned in his 80s. He was talking, he's like, I nap most of the day. I gotta get up. I do a little bit of writing. I have lunch, I nap. I do a little more writing. I talk to my grandkids. I talk to my kids. And then I go to bed. It's cool. Super retired, slowing down, totally healthy. I'm coming to the end of my life cycle, right? And the last, which I suppose it doesn't really spoil anything if you know history. In the last part, Ned's talking to one of his grandsons. Technically, one of the descendants of children, right? But he's referred to as grandfather. It's an honorific title. And that gentleman is saying, well, grandfather, it's like, I can't stay here because I'm a Puritan, and Protestants and Puritans have issues. So he was getting prepared, and he was saying goodbye to his grandfather figure because he was going to the New World on the Mayflower. And you have the story wrap up at that point, and I'm like, yes, so good. But yeah,
I love when stuff wraps up like that.
It's on such a beautiful, poignant moment where you get that
so satisfying.
And you just realize that history's shifting to a different format. Like we're just at that cusp of a really big change. Sunsetted beautifully. Super happy. I also devoured a 35-hour book in a week, which tells you how well it's written. Wow. And you're nobody famous, you're nobody fancy, you're behind the scenes, and you're just trying to follow your ideals and have a life. And you happen to be from a fictional place called Kingsbridge. So they have real historical characters like Queen Elizabeth, Mary of Scots, like real historical figures in there, in amongst the fictional characters to tell the story. So it was really good. I really liked it. So I am going to reread book 1 because now I need to go back to see where it all started. Because I have to go back and see how it all started.
Mm-hmm.
Noting I looked it up and I read book 1. Oh yeah, a while ago.
Uh-huh.
And I went, that's why I've been struggling to remember.
Uh-huh.
Doop-a-doop-a-dur. But you always have a 200-year interval between each books. So 200 between book 1 and 2, 200 years between book 2 and 3. So you
A
just
lot happens in 200 years.
it does. It's so well done. I'm gonna highly recommend them. They are beefy books. Like arm workout, like do some curls,
Yeah.
some arm raises. Unless it's your tablet, in which case it doesn't count because tablets don't really weigh anything.
I mean, those extra electrons.
Sure. So that's totally fine. But yeah, just beautiful, average people just trying to make their lives work with different beliefs, different superstitions, and different points of view. It's so good. So good. Enjoyable. Really good series.
I love books like that are like a piece of history, but it's also everyone's still so relatable because we're all still worried about the same things. Like the details are different, but
it's still the same things. Like, does he like me? Does he not like me? You know, should I marry this way? Should I marry this way? Like, what happens if I don't have children? What happens if I do have children? What happens if my children get sick? Like, how am I going to pay my bills at the end of the month? You know, like, this is my passion. How do I make it my job? Like, here's my ideologies. You know, why can't everybody just get along? Like, why do we have to fight? Even though we believe in different things, we still both believe in God. Why can't we just both believe in God and peace? Like, just
yep, exact same problems stuff. Today.
They haven't changed. So super enjoyed it. I mean, again, I read book 2, which was The End of the World, World Without End.
World Without End, I think
World Without End. I happily read a 1,000+ page book that involved the Black Death, and it didn't depress me, and I'm in the middle of a pandemic time. That tells you how well written it is. Wow. I was so caught up, and I was like, no, but it's the same questions. Like, what is this? How do we prevent it? What's going on? Why are people getting sick? How do we stop them from dying? Like, it's the same questions, just in a different context, because, you know, they don't have antibiotics.
And don't know what germs are.
And they don't know what germs are. So it's like discovering, like, you start to see the like little roots of medicine start to change and be influenced from Greek philosophers. And medical practitioners from like 2,000+ years before that. They start to go, okay, wait, this is not going to work. Like the body humor thing, we need to revisit this concept and figure something else out. So like super good, so enjoyable, so good. I loved it. Obviously, since I'm still raving about it 50 billion minutes later. I managed to make it through the opening credits and 2 sentences of Stiletto by Daniel O'Malley. Book 2 in a series. Book 1 is The Rook, which, if Dinah looks behind her, is in that stack of books I sent her.
It's in this stack of books that arrived today, along with some coffee and some hair stick / shawl pins.
Yep. Book 1 I sent to Diana. I've bought book 2 in a digital format because I obviously do audiobooks now instead of visual books. So I sent her my physical copy, among other really fun books that I thought she would enjoy.
Oh, yes.
Like The Wrong Dead Body. It's the book of everything is book 1. I finished reading The Wrong Dead Body, which is book 2. Just as funny.
Okay, I'm like, I don't remember that title from being in the stack, but yes, that's the one on top. And like, I was reading the back of that, like, this sounds hilarious.
So funny. And you know me, I pick books with twists or flips or something fun and interesting to read. So I'm reading book 2, which is Stiletto. I know nothing about it yet. I didn't read the back of it. I literally went, oh, it's book 2. It's by Daniel O'Malley. I like him. Bought the book. This is how I make decisions.
I mean, yeah.
So I have no idea. I haven't read the synopsis. I'll find out what's happening as I read the book. So that's going to happen this week, unless I got diverted, because I almost picked up We Are Legion, We Are Bob.
Solid choice.
I really liked that series.
It's a solid choice.
That's it for me in books, because I was telling Diana earlier that I might have started rewatching Time Team. I can't help it. It's the early 90s fashion sense. I'm just addicted. And I really love the concept of Time Team, so that's a thing.
All right.
On the bright side. You're up. What books have you been doing?
All right, books. So I was happily listening away for We Are Many, which is the second book in the Bobiverse series. And then my hold on Sapiens came up for like the fourth time, and I figured, hey, maybe I can put Bobiverse aside and listen to Sapiens. So I'm listening to Sapiens now. It is fascinating. Corporations are a figment of our collective imagination.
So good.
So is the economy and
Huh?
like our entire world. It's all a figment of our collective imagination.
We're upright gossiping monkeys. That's what we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
it so cool? Ah.
It's so cool, but also like, oh wow, you're not wrong. That doesn't feel good.
You sit there and think about it and you go, whoa. Oh, jeez.
Like
Superior, my foot.
the thing that makes us different from our most closely related primates. It's not the use of tools or fire. It's gossip. We gossip, they don't.
Or we gossip more than they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can have groups of 150 instead of like 20 to 50.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yup, and that's the difference.
There you go, peeps. Sapiens, really good book.
Yeah.
Really good book.
It's fascinating. I'm about 2 and a bit hours in
Yeah.
to a 15-hour book.
It's a good book. I loved every minute I listened to Sapiens. It was so good. So good.
My brain will be expanded by the end of it, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I would be surprised if it wasn't. Mine was. It just makes you think differently. You're like, oh, hello. The only problem is because I read a fair number of nonfictions. Audible has decided that I might be interested in the memoirs book sale they have going on right now.
Mm.
And I don't read a lot of memoirs.
Fair.
I like learning nonfiction books, but I'm not really into the This Was My Life nonfiction book.
Some of them
It's not my cup of tea.
are good. A lot of them, I don't care. But some of them are legitimately really good when they're written by interesting, entertaining people.
I read Ibificus, which is Biff Naked's memoir.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that one. And I read You're Never Weird on the Internet.
Oh yeah, I really like that one. Yeah,
that was well done because I was like, oh, I hit all those tropes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yep. What else have I? Oh, there was the Marley Bird one too. I think that was It's Not What You Think. Marley Bird is a YouTuber. She's a blind YouTuber, and she has technically the same disease I do because there's like a lot gets put under the umbrella of RP. So she wrote about her experiences with RP and having a guide dog and doing things. So a lot of it I was like, yep. I can relate.
Mm-hmm.
But not a ton.
One of my random vintage books that I bought at one point, bought purely for the title, it was Orchids and Salami. Didn't care what the book is about. I just wanted Orchids and Salami on my bookshelf.
That's fair.
Turned out to be Eva Gabor's memoir.
Okay, which would be really fascinating to read because Eva Gabor.
Yeah, I still don't really know who she was. Beyond, she was the voice of Duchess in the Aristocats. That's it.
Okay, she's done more than that.
I know, right? I should reread it again, honestly, but like she sounds like she was really fun and like I would have loved to hang out with her.
Yeah.
One more book. I had one more book. I'm reading a physical book. I'm reading Solace, which is the first book in the Parasol Protectorate series, which is a steampunk paranormal mystery romance.
Yep, those
set
are
in
all
Victorian
the words.
England. It's a lot of words. It's a lot. It's yeah. It's Victorian, and I don't know if it's especially steampunk. It's more like gas lamp fantasy.
Gas lamp fantasy.
That's not quite it. I want to say gaslight, but gaslighting somebody is something totally different.
Rude and should not be done.
No, that's wrong. Maybe it's gas lamp fantasy, where it's like the fantasized, romanticized version of Victorian England, but it's not exactly steampunk.
Pretty much anything that's written about it in part of a fictional format is a romanticized version of Victorian England,
Yeah, so it's
including
that.
what Victorians written about Victorian England.
True. So that plus werewolves and vampires and ghosts and stuff.
Oh, so like a alt history, alt world.
Yes. But also it's a romance.
Oh,
And
yeah.
a mystery.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a fun ride.
There was a. See, now I'm looking because that reminded me of a book series I thought you might like, and I probably told you about it.
Probably.
Hang on, I gotta get through the wall that is the Expanse series novels. Oh my god. Circe. That was a good book. Ah!
Tea is cold.
Ha ha! A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab.
You have definitely mentioned that.
Yeah, that one I think you would really like.
Oh, I finished my pot of tea.
We've been talking for a while.
Oh my, yes we have. It's that time. When
When
did it get to be that time?
So, in deference to the fact that Diana needs to sleep and I want her to watch more Critical Role tonight, I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you,
Don't forget
to
knit.
knit. And come join us on Saturday. We'll be live.
Live.